Earlier this week, Karoline Leavitt came out after question upon question upon question of Donald Trump's MRI results, and when she started that press briefing Monday, she didn't have the results in front of her. And then magically, without ever leaving the podium, they just appeared. From Captain Sean Barbarella, who of course is Donald Trump's personal physician, not the one who gave him the MRI. Okay, he's not the one who was involved in that, but Captain Barbarella decided to magically give Karoline Leavitt this report right as reporters were asking. Because at first she was like, I don't have it yet. And then she's like, oh, look at this. Boom. But she said that the MRI was a, quote, preventative measure to check his heart. And everything was great to get the best heart in the world, right? Well, actual doctors, medical professionals, including a former White House physician, have all said this isn't right. Nothing about this is legit, and nothing about this explanation is actually how things work. They don't even, believe that it was necessarily a cardiac MRI. But this is just an excuse so that people don't think Trump had it on his brain, which we should all think he did because it happened right after his cognitive exam. Okay? You gotta follow the breadcrumbs there. You get a MRI right after a cognitive exam, they're looking at your brain, not your heart. But here is, according to Scientific American, who reached out again to actual doctors, cardiologists, surgeons, all that. Imaging experts who spoke to Scientific American expressed doubts as to Barbarella's assertion that magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, screening is typical preventative care. American Heart Association guidelines, for example, note that a cardiac MRI is usually requested because of existing heart conditions and often only after other tests, which is something I pointed out the other day. No, it is certainly not standard medical practice to perform screening MRIs of the heart and abdomen, says radiologist and MRI expert Thomas Quee of the University of Groningen in the Netherlands. MedPage Today's editor-in-chief, physician Jeremy Faust, told CNN Monday that there's really no such thing as routine prevention using MRI. Faust on Tuesday told Scientific American that the White House memo reference to advanced imaging left open questions as to exactly what tests Trump underwent. It could even possibly refer to a CT scan, for example, which is different than an MRI. If we knew exactly what imaging he received, it would give us a better idea of what conditions they're worried about. They're not buying it. But I love what Faust points out here because he's like, yeah, listen, the statement actually didn't refer to an MRI. It said imaging. That could have been a CT. So what he's kind of hinting at here without actually saying it is like, listen, maybe he had a cardiac CT, right? And an MRI on something else. So it might not be just his brain going bad, maybe the brain and the heart. Maybe the whole damn system inside is just shutting down, which of course is obvious to anyone who looks at him, but not according to Karoline Leavitt. Scientific American reached out to her too and was like, hey, you said this, the doctors actually say this, what do you say now? And Karoline Leavitt said, as the president's physician, Dr. Sean Barbarella, has made clear time and again, and as the American people see with their own eyes every single day, President Trump remains in excellent overall health. Karoline, you can lie about anything in the world. But what you can't lie to us about is what we see with our own eyes. You're literally telling us that we're seeing something that we know for a fact we're not seeing. Donald Trump does not look healthy. Right? Everybody saw the photo over the weekend, right? He's at Mar-a-Lago. He's like half dead. We've seen the bruises. We've seen the swelling. We've seen that he can't stand up to do press briefings anymore. We see that he can't walk in straight lines. He can't walk without assistance. We've seen the weird bulges in his, the legs of his pants, like he's wearing some kind of brace. We've seen weird devices underneath his clothing. We see it all, Karoline. So don't you dare tell us that we're seeing something that we're not. That is absolutely crossing yet another line in lying to the American public. But furthermore, for all of the talk, and Trump had some talk of this week, about the previous administration hiding and covering up Biden's cognitive decline and his declining health, let me ask everybody this. How many times did the Biden administration send out, Psaki or Jackson and tell us this guy is in great health? He's in excellent health. Everything about him is great. His medical checkups were perfect. There's nothing wrong with this guy. How many times did anybody in this administration actively go out there in the public and lie to our faces about Biden's health, right? Because they allege a massive cover-up. Where are the clips? Now, I'm not even saying the clips don't exist, because there may have been a couple times where they're like, no, the guy's totally fine. Don't worry about it. But in 4 years, they never did it as much as this administration has done it in just the last month, folks. So you want to talk about cover-ups? We're in the middle of one right now. We're living through it every day. I don't want to hear another word from another person anywhere, anytime about a cover-up of Biden's cognitive decline when we are living in the middle of a cover-up that is 1,000 times more intense and more obvious than anything we saw during the Biden years. Scientists recently discovered a new evolutionary trait in puppies, and it's that they cannot grow up and reach their full potential unless you subscribe to this channel. Don't do it for me, folks. Do it for little Atlas and Judge here. Good boys. You do good. You want to say something? No? Okay.